Irini Papadimitriou is one of the experts on the lab. She'll be helping guide and advise scientists developing arts projects through the program. Irini's curatorial practice and research draws on interdisciplinary and critical discourse to explore the role of art in helping us engage with and navigate contemporary issues. She's the creative director of FutureEverything, a festival and cultural program whose mission is to push creative boundaries across multiple disciplines, ask challenging questions, and connect wide-ranging audiences with current and future global issues. Hello, Irini.
Hello, Mark. Thank you. Thanks for the intro, and it's great to be joining SILBERSALZ Institute and this amazing and exciting program. I'm just going to share my screen. So, as Mark said, my background has been working with art, technology, science as a curator, but also understanding, trying to bring people together from different backgrounds, and also understand a little bit why art, and where does it fit in the rest of the world. And I've been using lately this quote by Olivia Leng, which in a really beautiful and eloquent way talks about how art can shape our ethical landscapes, how it can open up our lives to see other things. And it's very much something that I've been thinking about in terms of how art helps us look in the world through different eyes. So very much the work that I've been doing in the past 20 years, from institutions like the Victoria and Albert Museum, but also Watermans, and currently FutureEverything and elsewhere, has been exploring these kind of encounters and coming together of different disciplines and sectors and individuals, and enabling artists to collaborate with scientists, with people from different sectors, from sociologies, anthropologists, etc., and to explore how we can bring these conversations that scientists, artists interrogate. And I've always found very similar ways of working for both scientists and artists, how these questions can become bigger, and they can allow more people to ask them, but also engage more people in these processes and investigations. This is from these photos are from a season of events at the V&A from a few years back when I was based there, which was exploring our relationships with machines, how we imagine robots, why we've been creating robots and humanoids and anthropoids, and also what do we think that robots look like, and from anthropomorphic to less to more abstract forms. And but also for me, this was an opportunity to create spaces for critical thinking and inquiry, especially at times of, as Mark mentioned at the beginning, with what is happening right now with disinformation, misinformation, but also think how we use technologies in ways that are happening so fast that we don't even have time to think about the implications, but also the ethical kind of questions as well. So it's very much an opportunity to explore these ideas and allow more people to be part of the process, but also to diversify the teams and that create these processes. These are just some examples again from the V&A, but also some programs outside. From the top left image is Kate Crawford's and Vladan Yoller's Anatomy of an AI System, and there was a whole program around that in exploring ethics and the architecture of algorithmic systems and artificial intelligence, and who creates these systems, who benefits, whose lives are kind of implicated in the decision-making processes that machines go through right now, and how how this decision-making processes are automated, and again, what are the what happens, like how they influence like and implicate people's lives, to Instruments of the Afterlife by Barton Nika on the top right, which was an art science collaboration with a few major organizations, academic institutions across the UK. And it was like a 4-year-long project that the artists like met at the V&A, which was great, which was very exciting. And then they came back a few years later to present some of the process. And that was quite an ambitious project, which was exploring bioengineering bacteria and the use of bacteria in like recovering precious metals from waste, from electronic waste in particular. So these conversations came back to the V&A and engaged people in playful ways through the process of the scientists and the artists. And of course, also bringing, like, as I said before, like, of course, bringing individuals from different backgrounds, but also in disciplines, but as Anil said before as well, to inspire to each other, to learn from each other more importantly, and of course, create spaces for exchange and dialogue, not just nationally, but also internationally. And very often we've been kind of exploring like how these conversations can take place in different cultural and geographical contexts as well. This is an example from a recent, not very recent, pre-pandemic international project. This is a project by Naho Matsuda, and in collaboration with organizations in Qatar. And the idea behind the project is to explore like data and what stories data tell about our places, about our cities, but also to open up conversations about like privacy and security issues, and like how these data flows might be telling different stories about where we live and what happens in our surroundings. And this is another example with a project, like a fascinating project by artist Anna Dumitriou, which we called the Romantic Disease, an artistic investigation of tuberculosis. And Anna has been doing really exciting work in bringing together science and art investigations. And part of her, obviously, time is based in scientific labs and collaborating very closely with scientists. And this was a project that I curated at Watermans a few years back, and it was an opportunity to bring Anna's work with fellow scientists as well, and her collaborators in the to explore like the history of tuberculosis and the social, but also like artistic and cultural history of tuberculosis, our perceptions of it, like of the disease and responses to the disease, but also to create spaces for people to come together and explore like the history of antibiotics, but also currently the current kind of technologies that are used in the medical sector in kind of responding to bacteria and disease as well. And one thing that I found very important is like how, and it's something that it's kind of behind like my interest in working in creating these spaces for conversation. It was very important to kind of like take them outside in public spaces. So I think Anil mentioned before, like in the number of people that can attend art events, which of course it goes far beyond like any kind of scientific lab that but for me that was also a question in terms of like breaking away from like these cultural institutions as well, and exploring these questions in public spaces. So this was there has been like opportunities the last few years to work with to take work in outdoor spaces, to take these collaborations in public spaces where we can engage with large audiences who wouldn't otherwise like have a chance to go to an art gallery, but even and of course not in a science kind of space, in scientific space. So this was from a series of of events that explore ethics and AI, and questions to do with the technologies that we are adopting across society, from public to private space, for example, facial recognition, to, as mentioned before, machine decision-making processes, algorithms that are used, that are adopted by police departments to identify people and also to predict whether someone could be a criminal or not. And we took these works and collaborations from data scientists to artists to sociologists to scholars in a public park in Athens, the last few years, to explore these very important questions, like labor behind AI systems, but also thinking about environmental issues and technology. And these are just some images from that sector that was exploring how we are. For example, the Alexandra Daisy Ginsberg's image at the top left, the substitute, is kind of interrogating our fascination with digitizing extinct animals, in this case the white rhino that has been extinct for a while, but also at the same time driving this species extinct with our actions. And of course, and this is from the second part, which was exploring how technology is affecting, and also technological ways of kind of responding to the world, and challenges might be changing and shaping the way that we perceive the world, but also we perceive each other. And this is a project by Eva and Franco Mates called The Bots, which is exploring moderation and the internet and the hidden labor. And recently I've been kind of interested in in bringing together economists, but also sociologists and artists in exploring questions behind environmental crisis, but also finance and our economic kind of systems, and how we design most of these systems. And this is a project, an ongoing research project called Money and Environment. And again, this has been very much based on creative exchange and collaboration, and creating opportunities for people to work together, and also to develop work and then bring the work presented back to the public. And just a final example of what happens when you bring all these people together. This again is I have only listed the lead artist, Helen Knowles, here, but it's actually a long list of people who have been involved in this project called Trickle Down, a New Vertical Sovereignty, which is an installation and also a whole it's also a conversation as well, and a series of workshops and co-design sessions that actually where the work came from. It was co-designed by a group of people, and it was very much to explore how the economic systems and how we design these right now. And the project is kind of exploring whether the blockchain as well is a viable economic system, and also thinking about value. How do we define value? Who decides what is valuable? But also gaps in kind of society, and from across society in terms of wealth and value as well. So this piece was connected to the blockchain, and it can only be experienced when somebody drops a pound coin into the machine that you see on the image on the left. And at the same time, when somebody drops a coin, then what you see on the screen there and on the machine actually is that the machine splits the income into smart. It's using smart contracts to split the income into like smaller amounts to distribute across the whole community that was involved in making the project happen. And that includes like from art workers to technicians to designers to like the fintech like specialists, etc. And it is connected to a series of auctions that again where some of them were staged, some of them were like real auctions, for example, Sotheby's, but also Ethereum Summit. And it was kind of, again, like it created the content for the work. So, I'm just going to close here, just before closing, just to say, so these are the main kind of reasons that I feel that art and science can come together. They create like in extraordinary ways for people to experience the world differently, but also to feel that they are part of the process and make a change, but also give them a space to voice their what they have to say and to allow them to be part of a safe space to be part of the process as well. So I'm very excited about these collaborations and what might happen in this program. And thank you again, Mark and Donata. I'm going to stop sharing here.
And thank you, Irini.